A call live. Now let's hear from our host, Andy Albright.
Thank you. We got some really good people here that I've been chatting with, hearing from a lot about things that are growing in their business, and I wanted to talk to them today, and you get the benefit of hearing it. My name is Andy Albright. We do a Wednesday call every Wednesday. We have one of our leaders. You've probably seen Diane Lampy do some of these meetings and have guests. One of the first things about building is getting your people on the Wednesday call, getting them to feel like they're part of a team, something bigger. You always get these little Hitler people I think about. They're like, you just need to stick to me, and there's a little bitty company, doing $500,000 a month, something silly, something little. And they're like, yeah, be on my team, and you're like, there's a bigger team out there. You need to let people see the rest of the world. Jumping on the TWC, paying attention to other businesses that are smoking them, making them look like they're going backward. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was just wondering why people don't look at companies that are growing and say, how can I copy that one? I had this guy on our team one time, y'all bear with me. He was telling my boss, he said, Andy don't care about people's feelings. All he's worried about is the black and white numbers. And I was like, because see, maybe for some of you that makes perfect sense, but to me, I'm trying to put it together going like, I thought if you helped 60 people, it was better than helping nobody. Let's say if you helped one. It seemed like helping 60 people would be better than helping one, in my mind. But I'm sure that we could get some psychologists or sociologists to explain to me that helping one person would be better than helping 60. And then people go like, well, how does the bottom line turn into that? Well, if you got 60 people and they all write $10,000 production, that's like $600,000. But if you have one person writing 7,000, for example, 600,000 versus 700,000, you could argue that money don't matter and the 700,000 don't matter and the 7,000 matters. And I'd have to say something like, why? Is it because he's your brother or your mom? And that's, you care more about this one person than the 60? So mine always breaks down to math. And maybe that's what makes me kind of not freak out over silliness or, I don't know. But I don't go crazy either when I get $1 million bonus either. I just like, oh yeah, that's $1 million. It's just like ones and a lot of zeros, you know what I mean? Versus one with a small amount of zeros. So I do care about the bottom line. That is true. The fact that he said he was mad at my boss. I feel like my boss backed me when he fired the guy, but maybe the other guy was like, see, getting fired isn't the most important thing. And I don't know, maybe he's got an upside down logic. And maybe I shouldn't care what one person thinks, but it does make a difference when somebody's like screaming like, I don't know why you don't care about people. Like, I care about people. I care about people getting results, positive results, not people getting mediocre results or worse, negative results. I would think negative results, everybody would care about that, not just my boss who cares about the bottom line and numbers. So, if that helps you at all, hope it helps Diane and Danny and Janet, because those are the three that I want to talk to. Everybody else getting to watch, you're just getting the benefit of me talking to them. And now, if you got my cell phone number and you have a question and you would like it mixed in here, that's a good question I just got here. All right. So building your business. Well, first of all, let's do this. Diane Lampy, whose team are you on? Where are you from? And a little bit about your family.
Hey, Andy.
Hey, Diane Lampy.
I'm honored to be on here today because it'll be almost 20 years in January, and I'm part of the FITS organization, and I'm proud of it. And I have a family in Texas, and I've been living a great life because of the Alliance, and it just keeps getting better and better. And I would say this, if I look back at all of this, the biggest thing that sticks out about me has been the community and the way that you've built this, that we're all helping each other. And I really want to thank you for that, because when we get together, it's like a family reunion. And we're all hugging on each other and we're all supporting each other. So thank you for that. It made a big difference in my life and it continues to. So thank you for all that you do.
Thank you, Diane. It's good to see you this week, and it's good to see the growth that's happening in your business. We're going to put some gas on it and try to help it take off. Janet Brush, same thing. Who are you? Tell a little bit about your little girl, your family, and who you are.
Yeah. I'm Janet Brush. I'm on the Legacy Life team under Mike Guerra, direct to him. I live between all the three cities, Houston, Austin, and San Antonio. I live in a really small town with less than 400 people. I did not grow up here. I don't even sometimes know how I made it out here. But I'm a single mother of a 2-year-old, a teenager that's turning 3 in November. And I started last year at the end of February. And I'm loving it so far.
All right. Well, it's good to see you also. And it's good to hear the good things you've got going on. A lot of stuff happening across the country. Danny, I call you Danny. Is it Danielle? But people call you Danny. And same thing. Who are you? Where are you from? Family?
I'm pretty sure I tried to coin the Danielle and everybody just calls me Danny. So Danny's perfect. I am from Albuquerque, New Mexico, born and raised. As far as family goes, I would say amazing individuals. I'm definitely the first in my family, first for college, first for everything that we're doing. They're very against, I guess, not against, maybe they haven't taken opportunities, but it's hard. They've fallen into like the drug epidemic, right? So I feel like I have a bigger calling as far as getting them out of it, as far as saving my family in that way. So I feel like, I'm excited to be here and I'm grateful for the opportunity. I feel like it's a path in order to do so. So.
That was interesting, Danny.
Yeah. And I'm homeless, apparently, according to Andy.
I was going to point out that you're homeless. Homeless people can do it too.
It sure can.
Good job, Danny. You made me want to talk about a whole different subject, Danny. All right. All right. So, I try to keep a coin in my pocket to see if I did it today. Yep, I did it. Yep. And it's a success coin, and it depends on what you want to be successful at. Now, this coin will work for whatever the subject, but you got to determine the subject. So if you said, hey, this is the family that I want, all right. What do you want? Family. Okay, let's specify. Did you want babies? Did you want boys, girls? Do you want 10, 12, 1? You said, no, you don't understand. I don't want children. I want to have family. Well, could be considered being adopted. You know what I mean? Like what do you want? What do you want? Okay. So a lot of times on this business, I'm talking about business, like how to create $1 million income or how to create $100,000 a month income, how to create a business that you're not stressed on buying $1,000 ticket, or not stressed on like go to a restaurant. So this might be the example, especially for my staff here that's sitting here, and I'm sure there's somebody else listening. When growing up, we chose what to eat based on how much it cost. A lot, like a real lot. Now, I was listening to this lady speak this week, a couple minutes, and she says, I'll never hire rich kids because they don't know what it's like to fight through something. And I was like, well, I should say rich kids, but where their parents are well off. Because the kid probably doesn't scratch for every nickel, doesn't fight for it. Like she was using an example, like if you grew up and you was like waitressing, and if you've ever done anything dealing with waitress or waiter or anything like that, a lot of times you get negative people or stupid people calling you names. It's just a mess, or spilling stuff, or babies. And she said probably the person that comes from a wealthier family has never dealt with chaos like that and had to deal with that challenge. I don't know. That's a broad sweeping statement. I think it goes like the statement, if you go like, I don't want anybody that's descendant from anybody from Haiti, or I don't want anybody that's descendant of anybody from Jamaica, because them Jamaicans, like a prejudiced comment, you know what I mean? Like I don't, and I'll go like you've prejudiced against kids that come from wealth. You with me? Like if they come from wealth, I don't like them. Or if they come from poor people, I don't like them. So now think about this. If you build your life on exceptions, the exceptional Jamaican, the exceptional rich kid, the exceptional Kenya person, wait, that is what life is built on, isn't it? The ones that lived through the war, the ones that lived through COVID, the ones that are very successful. Like, we can't help it, can we? Like, who's successful? Okay, so such a contradiction when we say we're not going to build it on exceptions. Then we say the exceptions, like these three ladies are exceptions. They're successful with us. You got everybody's successful with us. No, not really. There's people that are not successful with us. Now, how is that possible? Because we hire some people that have never been successful at anything. And then they came over here and they're not successful with us. People are like, but I thought we could just perform a miracle and make anybody successful. Like, no, not really. I mean, to me, it's a better opportunity than anywhere else, than anything I've ever seen. But for some people, like getting up in the morning, getting to work on time is a challenge. They're like, you want me there by 8? Or oh, you want me to put on my makeup before I got here at 8 and put on makeup and get there by 8? Or they get there and they've got their breakfast with them. They sit down at our desk and they start eating like, oh, you want me to eat breakfast before I came to work? You know what I mean? It's like some people just can't seem to get it together, And so we probably might not be able to help those people. So how about this? Forget the country they're from or their financial this. How about if we just talk about people that got it together? And it's easy to fake together for an interview, 15 minutes, an hour, but over time, stuff comes out about people. Like they can't afford to stay in their house, for example. Like Danny's homeless, you know what I mean? Like they lose their house or whatever they are. When you're like, not me, not living with me. It's just, I don't know. Danny's just making any. You know what I'm talking about, Danny? Because if you do, you might be one of the few people out there that know what I'm saying.
Yes, but don't confuse the people. I'm not actually homeless, you guys. Okay.
Do you have a home?
Okay, no, but
You're homeless.
Okay.
Is that what you got to say after all my thing about not discriminating and picking people that got their stuff together?
I mean, yes. That's what I just said.
She didn't hit me with no. Yes. Does anybody ever say that to you? No. Yes. Is anybody else confused when people do that? So stop doing that. You sound like an idiot when you go, no, no, yes. I give it worse. You sound like Elliot Gorog is who you sound like when you go, no, no, yes. You want to sound like Elliot? Say, no, yes. Diane, she's homeless. Now, if she wanted to buy a house, she could buy a house. If she wanted to get an apartment and live there, she could do that. Where are you staying tonight, Danny?
In a house.
And
It's my grandpa's house. It's not my house. Homeless.
okay. All right. So she's staying in Grandpa's house. You could stay there all the time if you wanted to, couldn't you?
Yeah, both of them.
But it's not your house.
It's not.
So you're homeless.
Homeless is right.
What's your grandpa's house that you're staying in? What city?
Albuquerque.
Albuquerque. Does he have two in Albuquerque that you can stay in?
No, sir. Other grandpas in Spokane, Washington.
Okay,
Or
so
I guess Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. But
you could stay in Coeur d'Alene or you could stay in Albuquerque. Either one.
yeah.
You're still homeless. But
Okay.
you're not grandpaless.
That's right.
You got two grandpas.
Both of them.
You could have three if your parents, got remarried or something. No? Is it possible to have three grandparents? Or four? Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. Well, you got mom and daddy grandparents and mom and daddy grandparents. But I wonder if you could have another mom and daddy. I'd have to think through that. I guess you could.
My kid has like 4 sets or something.
Yeah, see. Janet's got 4 sets of grandparents. Like you'll be having grandparents for years and years. A lot of people gone. That's a different way to have a big family tree. Divorces and remarriages and divorces and remarriages. You create a complicated tree. Thanks, Janet. Good input.
Yeah, that's where I come in. Yep.
Janet, I can't help it. How would you say your daughter is?
She's 2 going on 3 in November.
2 going on 3. And did you say she's a teenager also?
She's a 2-nager. She's 2. 2-nager.
2-ager.
Because she's got an attitude
2-ager.
already.
Like she's 2, but she's going on
Teenager.
16.
She's a 2-ager. Like a teenager.
A teenage ranger.
2-ager. I've never heard it put like that. I'm gonna guess added that. I'm a 2-ager. I'm not gonna use it, but. Diane, the part what I was saying about building on exceptions, you got any feedback or communication on that so I can talk to you about this a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, you never know who you're talking to. And I don't judge because you don't know who they know. And so we give them a shot and the system kind of sorts them out. We want to find those winners in there and they show up sometimes. So yeah. I like talking to different people because you don't know who they know.
Yeah. Janet, I don't even know if I want to ask you, but I will. What's your thoughts on it, what I'm talking about, Janet?
I kind of like what Ryan Chang was saying the last couple of days when we've been around him, is like starting everyone off as like an A+. And when they continue that, okay, well, great. You're gonna turn out amazing. You're gonna do all the things. But as they they continuously not listen or do the homework you kind of set out for them to do, they never finish within the timeline. They never, implement anything that you're recommending. They never hop on the TWCs, and the list goes on and on. He starts like checking, okay, now A-, B-, and so on. But all while, I mean, you're giving them the best shot at succeeding here. I like that.
All right, so we're really talking to y'all 3 and whoever wants to hear it. You're building a team. Now, I will say there's some people that hire 6 people or 18 people and they pick out 6, and then they try to train them how to be really good salespeople. And they say, this is going to be my team because I've got 6 people. Or maybe they've got one person that has 2, and then another person, and then another person. So they got 4 people. Or let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people. That's going to be their team. And they're going to try to get them to sell 10% more. So they really spend the time developing leads, coaching, and training. And that's not a terrible model in some companies. That's a terrible model for us, okay? Because if you've only got like 5 people like that, and you lose one of them, I know I'm kind of doing the math quick for you. That's 20% of your entire organization by losing one person. So like if I gave you 13 spots and you're going to put a basketball team on the court, say by January 1, you got to put 13 people. You can't have 50 people. You can talk to 50. You can recruit 60, but you can only give 13 scholarships. Now you have to decide who's, like if you take 13, so I can do the math, I'm going to give you 10 scholarships. If I only give you 10 slots, and then the season starts, and 2 of the people that you picked quit. Like, God, you know what I'm saying? Like, you could have picked out of the 60 people you interviewed or 100 people, you could have put 2 that are not quitters in the 10 in place of the 2 that quit like that. The part you got to understand is you're the coach. You pick the people. So you come to me and go, hey, I know you gave me 10 slots, but 2 people quit, so you got to quit being mad at me because I only have 8 players. I go, who picked the 10? Well, I picked the 10, but I didn't know they were going to quit. You didn't know they were going to quit. And I didn't know they quit. You might even say, Andy, how could you know they quit? Well, I promise you, Danny and Janet, and those family members, Danny and Diane, those family members, there's trends that you can see in people's decisions. So if you're 60, 70, or 100 people and you're trying to pick which 10. Now, let's come, in our business, it's unlimited. So you could have all 60 over here on the team. You don't have to just pick 10. And that makes it kind of a challenge because if you try to give 60 people equal parts of your time, it won't work. Because you don't have that much time. And let's say out of the 60, about 20 of them are quitters, but you don't really know they quit because you don't have a limited amount of slots. It's tough to grasp. And I've been thinking about, for a lot of years, how to discern to get people to understand you're building a team when in fact it's unlimited. But it's kind of not unlimited when it comes to your time and who you chat with and who you deal with. So, for example, I love to say hire everybody, but when we're walking around at a restaurant or something, or when we're walking to the restaurant or we're leaving, valets and concierges and other people that are in the hotel room or in the lobby, as you're meeting people, there's a discernment that you need to be picking. Like if you're the basketball coach and you're picking the 10 people, you want to get people that didn't quit high school, people that didn't quit their various universities. You want people that stuck with things. Like, for example, here's a good one that if you ever find out a person that's got an Eagle Scout, like I haven't met many Eagle Scout people that aren't pretty persistent and consistent, but no offense to the felons on the team, but a lot of times when a people has a felony, they've done something to get that felony. So a person that got an Eagle Scout, you're more excited to have them on the team. The felony, not as excited. You with me? So what if you only have felons? Well, I get you. You have a tough team. It's, had some interesting background. You follow, like, it's okay. Like I went to carriers and said, hey, look, this happened, 10 years ago in his life, and like it's bullcrap. It's possession of marijuana, and today they let you smoke it, and it's like he had nothing. This has really made no sense. I'll give you. Here, how about this one? This is a weird one. In South Carolina, you've got to wear a seatbelt in your car, or they'll give you a ticket because they care about your safety. But if you wear a motorcycle, you don't have to wear a seatbelt. So in a car, you got all this stuff around you to protect you. But in a motorcycle, you got nothing around you and you don't have to wear a seatbelt. Is it because it's safer to be thrown off of a motorcycle when you get hit than if you were rattled around in the car? Now, I ain't even brought up no helmets. But like in South Carolina, you do not have to wear a helmet in the car. And you do not have to have one in a motorcycle. To me, that makes sense. But in North Carolina, you have to wear a helmet when you ride your motorcycle. But not in South Carolina. And not in Florida. You don't have to wear your helmet. Does that make sense to y'all? It seems odd to me that you'd make people in cars wear a seatbelt, but motorcycles don't have to wear a seatbelt or a helmet. Why are we discriminating towards the motorcycle people?
Natural selection.
Excuse me?
Natural.
This is good. Y'all got to hear this right here. This is good. Take this mic and speak into it so that they can hear you, because
Natural selection.
natural selection. I don't even know if I want to know. I mean, I guess I go to the whole. No, you got to keep that mic. What the hell? What does he mean by that? Natural selection. Keep the mic right up towards your mouth. Pretend like you're talking into a mic.
Is it okay? Well, I feel like
You feel?
I do feel.
Let me feel.
Okay. You feel it?
I feel like.
Okay. It's if you're being on a motorcycle is automatically more dangerous than being in a car.
Correct.
So if you're already subjecting yourself to the dangers of that, then if you don't want to wear a helmet, you're already doing something that's putting your life in danger.
Even if I'm just as crazy and in a car, shouldn't you allow me to not wear my seatbelt if you're going to not? They don't have to wear those.
I don't know about that one. That's
Diane, do you have any? Now watch this. I'm the CEO of the company. I'm the president. I've got the biggest company, and there's people that are criticizing right now, making fun of me, and don't understand what I'm talking about. And they're not trying to get it. They're not trying to get what I'm saying. Diane, they're not trying to get what I'm saying. They're trying to get their opinion of what I'm saying. Get what I'm saying versus your opinion of what I'm saying. Okay. It's a dumb rule. It's the government, and there's nothing we can do about it. We're not going to justify it. It's stupid. But that's the way it worked out, and that's what we got to live with. If you want to ride a motorcycle without a helmet, do it in South Carolina or Florida, and I'm sure there's other states, probably Mexico, the whole country. You can probably wear a I don't know. They might make you wear a motorcycle. It's nothing we can do about it. So why are we worried about it? I'm not worried about it. I'm just pointing out how stupid it is. Okay? All right. So, Danny, Janet, Diane, family members are going to do some of the stupidest stuff in the world, and there's nothing we can do about it. Just like the government makes decisions, people make decisions. So then the government has to live with that. The problem is the government is not a person that ends up kind of struggling with their life. It's a non-entity. Yeah, it's complicated. All right. Yeah, you're shaking your head, but I don't think you understand. I'm not sure if I understand. Okay. Yes, Janet, that's a good comment. I'll let you say something about that, Janet. What do you put that book up there for a reason?
Yeah, obviously the circle of you is pretty much everything you were just discussing. Granted, we have to follow stupid laws, but when it comes to everything else, if we can't control it, we can't stress about it. We can't control it, but we can control us, how we respond, all of our actions that we do every day, so on.
Like, not when I'm interviewing Janet, I've talked to you a lot in the last, 6 months, off and on, and never once have you said to me that, like, this to me, like to some people, different things are a turn off. Like, oh my God, it's like, as I'm picking from the 60 people, which ones are going to be on my team, Alex, I'm looking for reasons to not put you in the 10. And I'm looking for reasons to put you in the 10. Reasons to and reasons I know. So with basketball players, we know we want what? We want tall, we want fast, we want reliable, we want to have basketball intelligence. Okay? So if it was 100 and we only got to pick 10 to be on our business, we got to sort around. Now, the good news about our business is we can kind of go down the road and decide out of the 60 which 10 are going to be on our bench and which 10 it can be fluid. But you really kind of need to pick the people that you're going to be talking to across the country. Okay? So you got to have some kind of discernment. Like, so two things. So one is the mothers that have the single mothers that say, like, and they just get all emotional, and I'm not trying to make fun of them, but they hit you and their voice always breaks. Oh, I just want to be better for my children. It was for me. And I was like, okay, listen to the words. Just want it to be better than it was for me. Okay, you're their mommy. Is it not already better for them than it was for you? Already? Isn't it? 99.9, they go like, yeah. But, and I go, but what? I didn't have designer clothes. Okay, so you want it to be better for your kid, which you already got, boom. And then designer clothes, which you can afford. So buy them for them, or can't afford. Buy them for them. Does that make sense? Like, so that's what we're saying. It's more than that. Okay, so I'm like, well, geez, Lord, like by more, what do you mean? Well, do you mean when they graduate from a D1 university, you want them to have a Mercedes? You know what I mean? Like, what is it you want? Remember, what do you want? Just for it to be built for my children. And but there's a lot of, if you can, is it the SAT? What's the other college exam they do? ACT. Okay, like, if you can relate this, I don't want this person to be in my 10 because all they want is it for to be better in their children. Why am I not picking them? There's other things. So if I give you some other statements like, I just don't want to have a boss. I want to be free and have unlimited income. I kind of like that person. I just don't want. And I go, that's it. I go, well, then quit your job. Now, see, I don't have to give too much advice to the woman that only wants it to be better for their children, and I don't have to give too much advice for the only person who just don't want to have a job. You see what I'm saying? But a person that wants to be free and have a lot of money and travel, we have to think about how we're going to do this. That challenges me to help them. But it doesn't challenge me if somebody has such a simple thing that don't make any sense. Or if a person says, I want something that I don't do nothing but eat and drink. I go, I relate to you and I understand that. But that's not the person that I'm going to be able to pour into, because if I pour into them, all they're going to do is eat and drink. So I'm listening to what people are saying to decide if they're like stupid or they're not reliable. They don't have any ambition about them. I'm just listening to them. And it's like they didn't think that anybody was listening. Like they're complaining about something or saying something. It's like they don't think anybody's hearing them. When in fact, if somebody is listening, it could be worse for them the next day. They thought it was going to get better by saying the words, and the words they said put them in a worse position. I guess they were thinking, when I tell him the passion that I have, that my children live a better life than I live, he's going to love me. In fact, they're wrong. Because I'm going to go, that's not a hard request. Because you remember how you were beaten and abused and all that stuff, and your kid's not beaten and abused. They got a loving mom. Isn't it already better? And then they go, well, you're going to hit me with logic and just explain it away. I go, oh. You see what I'm saying? What do you want me to do? Like, how would you want me to judge that? I mean, that's a rhetorical question. I'm not asking y'all three that. But Danny, see if you can just clarify so me and you are on the same page with what I'm saying.
If your only ambition is to have, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but if your only ambition is to, I guess, put something in place that's already there, like the better life for your children, where are you going to go? Where is there to go or grow from there, if that's your only goal? And are you the person?
Think about that. If you're a basketball player and I go, hey, tell me the reason that you want, I should put you in the 10. And he goes like, so if we just gave you a uniform and you wasn't on a bench, that'd be cool. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what do you want out of it? Danny, keep going. Does that help, Danny? Like, if that's...
Yes, it does. You have to have bigger ambitions and bigger goals for yourself in order to become. It's not about what we already are, we're becoming. So you're acting as if I could take 3 words away from you that I learned that made the most impact is act as if.
Act as if. We're going to come back to act as if. My mama has a sister, Sarah, S-A-R-A, Sarah, and she's dead. She's passed away. And her husband, Bernard. And they're good people, I'm positive. They're good people. And they had a couple kids, and they're good people, I'm sure. Mama wants me to help them out. And they're good people. They just had it rough. So I told Mama, I said, all right, send her in here. And so she sent one of them children in here, and I give her some Benjamin, some $100 bills, and kind of help her get some food for the kids. I wanted to make suggestions like, you need to get them a haircut, but I didn't say nothing. I think about Waterworld or Thunderdome. Y'all, have you ever seen those movies? Y'all should watch Waterworld. Just Google Waterworld or just Thunderdome and just see some of the pictures of the people you pull up. And not prejudiced toward the Thunderdome look. I like it. Waterworld, that's another good one. There's several movies that are along those lines. So I gave him some money, and I also said, I've got this book I want you to read so it enlightens you and gives you a different perspective. I just remember once when I had this guy that I thought I liked a lot, and I got him on my jet, and he was talking to me, and he was asking questions important. He said, "You ever did any shrooms?" I was like, "I'm not sure. You mean like the psychological things that like make you kind of go crazy like that?" And I said, "Sounds interesting. I've never done it." He said, "It's the most enlightening experience I've ever had in my life." And I was like, "Was it more enlightening than reading a book?" And he was like, "What do you mean?" I go, books are enlightening and they tell you about different things. And he was like, "All I know is this was enlightening." I was like, What did it enlighten you to?" And you remember that, Jessica? You remember that? And he was like, "I don't know." And I was like, "All right." And I mean, like, I went from where I thought about him to where I thought about. I was like, this guy's crazy. You know what I mean? It's like, so I gave my cousin this book. I said, "You read this book, it'll enlighten you." And then text me or call me back and tell me how it goes. And I thought maybe a week, 2 weeks, one day she would get through it because she was so hungry to have a better life. No, nothing. So then one day I text her. I was like, "You read those books?" And she didn't even answer me back. And I've been tricked by my mom on numerous occasions and given these people money. And it's just, it seems like it's a pit. And you just throw the money in the pit and it goes away. So I'm saying, like, if you had 10 players and you lose every game, there's a boss that's going to fire you. They call it athletic director. But in this business, they don't get fired. Their income either goes backwards or it stagnates. See what I'm saying? So you're trying to get 10 people. So when you're trying to pick your team, Janet, is try to find people that can grow and do things, not people that go backwards. And you say, "Well, I don't want to be judgmental of people." You only have so much time to give to people. You've got to have a criteria. You've got to have logical reasons why you work with people. Okay? All right. Diane. Think about some of the people in your organization that best fit the criteria. And let's talk about maybe 3 or 4 of those. It could be anywhere. Like, it don't have to be the best in this leg, best in this leg, best in this leg. It could be all in one leg. People that have the best criteria. So I'm going to give you this. This is, it's probably offend somebody, but like if you're training a puppy dog to capture raccoons, what you do is you catch a real raccoon and you show the raccoon to the puppy dog. You're like, "This is what we're after." Like, y'all think I'm kidding, but I'm not kidding. If you don't know how to trace coon dogs, you don't know nothing about this. So what I'm thinking is, if we could take some people that are like what we want, we could say, "Hey, Timmy, Jimmy, Stevie, this is what we're looking for." And then you can hold up like a kitty cat. Kitty cat looks like a possum in a lot of ways. You know what I'm saying? They got a tail, got ears. They're a little bit smaller, but they're kind of the general body thing as a raccoon. You with me? So then you go like, and instead of you bringing your kitty cat, she'd be like, "Oh my God." Show them the stripes around the tail. This one don't have stripes. You know what I mean? It's frustrating. So what would be cool is if you're training 10 dogs and one dog, he just comes out of the gate and just runs right to the raccoon, just jumps on his head, starts beating him and ripping the shreds. You're like, "That's my dog right there. That's my dog." And another dog, he runs the opposite direction. He's scared of the cat and scared of the raccoon. He's not going to bring you a kitty cat and then you can get mad at him. He's not bringing a raccoon. He's running for the hills. See how we're judging the doggies on how they react to the raccoon or the kitty cat. You tracking with me? Oh, by the way, I'm talking about building today, not selling insurance. If everybody hadn't picked up on that.
Right.
If what went out in the text letting you know what I'm going to talk about confused you and thought I was going about telling how to sell an insurance policy, it was miscommunicated. I'm talking about building. So if you're recruiting 10 players and you have a recruiter and the recruiter keeps bringing you people that don't fit, like maybe they're way too short and their arms are too nubbish, you know what I mean? You're like, I need span, I need height, and I need tall, you know what I mean? So if the person keeps bringing you people that don't make sense, then that's kind of, you go like, you're not going to be a recruiter no more. All right. So we're not judging, but we're judging. We're not prejudiced, but we have a prejudge toward what we're really looking for. Such a contradiction in life, isn't it? So if your contradiction so far has you looking at your credit cards and they're all filled up, and somebody wants to, if you have a flat tire, you don't have money, or if you go out to eat and you're hoping somebody else pays, or if you don't even go out to eat, you just fix a sandwich because you're so broke, you can't afford to go out to eat. Then, so in other words, try to judge what you're doing to try to get a more successful team. Well, if your team is minus 5% this year and Levitovich's team is up 35%, you got to be thinking, I'm doing the wrong things. In other words, it's such a contradiction. Are you too nice or are you too mean? Are you too giving? Or are you never giving enough? And it's funny because people always judge people that are known. They judge Elon Musk, they judge Trump, or they judge Biden, or they judge, what's that lady's name? Is it Pelosi or whatever? Or they judge Taylor Swift, or they judge a football coach. You understand, we know all those people, and we don't know you. So how you're judgmental on them is interesting to me, because I mean, like, these are all people that I admire, and I try to study what they did that's different than what you did. I don't want to be successful and be Biden. Well, who would you like to be and be successful? I don't want to be Trump. Who do you want to be and be successful? See what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to be Taylor Swift. Who would you like to be? Would you like to be Scotty McCreery and successful? Would you like to be Kid Rock and successful? Gene Simmons and be successful? You see what I'm saying? Like, I just want to be myself. Well done. You already are. Solved. Solved. You see what I'm saying? Solved. You are yourself. I just want to do it my way. Well, you don't need me to help. You don't need Fitz to give you advice or Diane Lampy, because you're already doing it yourself your way. So what do you want? Stephen Davies, a good friend of mine, he said, people don't want to hear advice, they want to hear an echo. You know what that means, Janet? When Stephen says you don't want his advice, you want to echo, do you know what he means by that?
Am I allowed to say a cuss word on this call?
What did she say?
Remember when you were at the hot spot in Houston, I said, I don't like assholes?
Assholes. To be clear, A-S-K-H-O-L-E-S.
Yes, it's not the full word. So I don't mind people asking me a question once. I don't mind them asking me 3 or 4 times if their memory is like mine. But eventually you got to start picking up what I'm dropping off and start implementing it.
What is the asshole?
Because if you keep asking and you never do, you're an asshole.
So people that ask a question and don't do what the advice is, you call them assholes.
They're just wanting me to echo, or they want to make it sound great that they're asking questions, that they're plugged in, but really they're not. They're not really listening to what you're saying. They want to come off as they're still plugged in.
Yeah. So what she's saying is, you ask a question, all you want to hear is an echo. Mm-hmm. All you want to hear is, I'm doing it right. So people say, like, hey, I'm thinking about moving to Timbuktu. And you look at them, you say, hey, Timbuktu. It's like an echo, Timbuktu, Timbuktu. Or if it's like, hey, I think it's best for me to live in Anaheim, California. because that way there's a lot of people in California. And then you say to them, well, company's on the East Coast and you want to build with this company and we're on the East Coast, why don't you consider Atlanta, because it's got a big hub also. And they go like, well, let me tell you why Anaheim's better, because some of California is Republican and some has a lot of foreign nationals in it. You're like, what? And they go, Anaheim. And you go like, what do you think about Denver, Colorado? It's got a big airport. You can get to Burlington, you can get back to Anaheim. They go, let me tell you more about Anaheim. And you're like, you know what? Anaheim suits you, your personality and who you're. They go, that's what I was thinking. They just want to, right? Is that what you mean? We're saying the same thing, Janet?
Yes, pretty much.
You understand, Janet, that person don't know we're talking about them, and they're not on the call, so they can't know we're talking about it. The ones that are on the call think we're not talking about them. You wouldn't like it's called lack of discernment that they're being judged. They're judged. Well, yeah. So you're trying to find people, Janet, on your 10. So on your front line are people that you direct, the best people. Okay. Danielle, Danny. Let's go, Danny. Do you have any questions or clarifications to that, Danny? If you don't, if you think you 100% got it, then you got it. But you can even hit me with a but if you want to.
No buts. The only thing that I have a question about is I watched this video one time and it was about Tom Brady and the combine. And they gave his report back and they were like, you have the worst stature.
Right.
Your 40 time is absolutely awful, Tom Brady.
Right.
You should not be a player in the NBA.
Right.
I mean,
right.
At NFL. And he walks up to the coach and he says, I will be the best decision that this team has ever made if you put me in. Like, you put me in, you're not taking me out. So I guess your discernment goes so far, but no buts. But at what point are you like, oh, okay?
Okay, so what I would tell you, Danny, is if you look at his college career, it was stellar. You with me? So I hear you about his stature, but what I don't hear about is what was his grade point average in high school, what was his grade point average in college. You with me? What was his attendance in high school and what was his attendance in college? You with me?
Yes, sir.
Like Michael Jordan, I know a little bit more about his story. He got cut as a sophomore, but he was relentless in his history was strong. Like, does that make sense? So without hearing that about Tom Brady, I agree. Like, there's a lady with our group. I walked first time I talked to her. And I have when I tell you this, you're going to understand why I'll not disclose who it was. I was just like, stature's not right, hair's odd, clothes is different. There's several things. Well, now this person, let's call him in the top 50 in the country in production. So I took a closer look, and this person's education is stellar. Jobs they've held is stellar. And then the persons that they're close to them in their life are stellar. So it's almost like I made a quick book judge and didn't look back judge. And then I justified her production when I looked at her back. But I can't justify my initial reaction to her. Like I was wrong. Does that make sense? So the good news about this is I didn't not pick the right person. I picked somebody else. But then she shifted over here and this person shifted down. You with me? Does that help answer the question, Danny?
Yes, it does.
So whoever made the judgment of Brady, I don't know if they kept Brady and he was extremely successful there. You know, I got my coach, well, one of my coach, O'Brien, he he had this guy named Russell Wilson was the quarterback at NC State, and he was a junior. And Russell Wilson wanted to play baseball in multiple sports. And the coach said, if you can't make the football practice on time, you are going to be second string to a guy named Glennon. Now, O'Brien so Wilson went to Wisconsin or somewhere, left. And he's had a stellar career in the NFL, and he had a stellar career at Wilson. Well, O'Brien made that decision, and Glennon did a pretty good job. He was not terrible. Glennon went on to play in the NFL and played there like 10 years. I think made $45 million. Look it up. Lifetime earnings. Not John Glennon, that's an astronaut, but Glennon. What's his first name? Mike Glennon. Look at, pull up lifetime earnings. Just ask Chad or pull it up on Google. And how was lifetime earnings? I was 30 to 50 million in that ballpark, and didn't have to play ever. I think he started one game in 10 years. He's a super nice guy with no concussions, no broken bones, nothing's contorted out of him. Wilson's had the hell beat out of him, but he's made like 300 million or 400 million. Do lifetime earnings of Mike Glennon versus that. These are not terrible decisions. Maybe O'Brien kind of lost his job, but if he had kept Wilson and we'd have won a bigger championship, it might have been better. It's a tough call. And O'Brien's still doing good. I think he coaches in the NFL. Somebody checking on all these three things? Give me some facts. Give him a mic. Here you go. Tend him a mic. Daddy, listen to me. It's not a terrible call. Go ahead.
Mike Glennon, $32 million. And they describe him as a journeyman backup quarterback.
A journeyman backup. How about
the different teams? Russell Wilson, $315 million franchise quarterback.
I don't know these things. $300 million franchise quarterback. But O'Brien had them both on his team. That's a tough damn decision. He went with Glennon. I don't know where his career went. And, Wilson went to Wisconsin and, he's coaching at Boston College currently? Different guy. It's a different O'Brien. All right, Danny, you see what I'm saying? But now there's a coach that picked people, and he's not in the D1 football coaches. He's not a high school coach. He's in jail. That's obviously huge different decisions than what's O'Brien's first name? Tom O'Brien's decisions. You with me, Danny? It's not that big of a screw up. On the other hand, what could he have done differently that Tom O'Brien went on to be a great coach? So it's bad, like my cousin who's my mother's sister's kids, I call my cousins, they're just, I don't know how to describe it. It's just a terrible life. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're happy. They're they can't walk. They're younger than me, they can't walk. Like, you mean they can't walk? Like, you don't see them. They struggle to walk. Their knees hurt, their back hurts. You would hurt if you was watching them trying to walk. You see what I'm saying, Danny? No? Yes? Okay. It's like a Rubik's Cube, because you turn the left, the yellow, and then the white's in the way. You turn the white, and then the blue's in the way. You turn the blue, and then the red's in the way. It's like a Rubik's Cube. So at the end of the day, how much production has your team got? At the end of the day, how much money do you keep? At the end of the day, how much money do you give away? At the end of the day, what countries have you been to? And at the end of the day, do your children still talk to you? At the end of the day, does your wife still around? At the end of the day, can you still talk to your daddy? Does your daddy tell you good job? Like, what's the Rubik's Cube you're shooting for? And who puts it together the best wins. It's not a competition. I'm trying to win. I would like to help you win. The more you define what you want, I can help you. I'm not God, and I ain't Jesus. I can't fix it. And I ain't Trump or Biden. I can't fix it. But I built this business so I can give you advice on this business. I can give you advice on finances. But I can't make, I say this to be old and crazy, is I can't make a silk purse out of sow's ear. Well, sow's ear, that's a pig who has a leather ear with a lot of cartilage in it. And silk, which is made from these worms that excrete this stuff that creates silk, makes a really smooth, soft purse. So I can't make a silk purse out of a sow's ear. So I can't make a championship out of people that are terrible people that can't remember to get up in the morning and get to work on time. And there's this god awful, Danny, and this is great. And these in here I can't decide on, but those I can decide on. And the more you shift and get more of your great players on the team, you're going to win more championships and more free trips, more, really just more. You're going to win more, whatever, options. So you're picking. So when you tell me how bad your team's going, maybe you should be asking is, how do I pick a better team? Because the people I'm picking ain't working out. So, all right, here's what we're looking for. All right, Diane, I'm just on width here, and I still got to go depth, and then I got other things so I'm hoping you're with me, but talk to me and make me think that you're with me.
Yeah, Andy, I love what you're talking about, because a lot of people, when I'm talking to them in recruiting, they have a tendency to tell you, I just want to pay my bills. And they tell us everything that they don't want. And I think if we could help them get more clear, which you always do, of what they do want, then you can help them more. But if they're still on what they don't want, they're going to keep getting it, right?
Yeah. What do you want?
Yeah. The coin. That's what it is.
So this is
about that.
What do you want? So this is why I go one more all the time, Diane. Like with Janet, she's got some really good people. What's the girl I'm with? Karen. Karen, you're listening. You have a really nice person and some other good people. All right. And Danny, you got some people. You got Maddie. What's your uncle's name?
Zach.
Zach. You got Zach. You got Danny. So however many good people you got, Danny, if it's two, I think it's more than that. Do you have a lady that has a dog that travels with her a lot?
Yes, her name's Tony.
Tony?
Yes.
Tony. So Tony and Zach and Danny. So maybe these are the three good people. So now what you're looking for is one more good people, because one more good person to that would be 25% more. You go from 3 to 4, that's a 25% increase. But people are always like, I got this guy that he owns an agency and he's got these 5, offices, and you are living with mama. No offense to you living with mommy. But you're going to recruit a guy who's already got an office, 5 offices, a secretary and staff. We call that a minnow trying to swallow a whale. But if you're living with mommy, maybe you can find somebody else that lives with mommy that has a bigger room than you. Like they live with their mom, but they're not in the basement. They're in a garage over the house or something. You see what I'm saying? So then they go, oh, well, that's good. That's a good person. All right. So now the person that lives with their mommy over a garage, maybe they could hire somebody that found a way to move out, and maybe they got a job and they got 2 guys that are renting together. You go, why is it better to have 2 guys rent a house as opposed to mommy, because you save more money? Maybe it's not. In your world, maybe that's not better. But if I'm picking a basketball team, Danny, that's my thinking. So I can incrementally, so if you did the worst to the best, I can sort and go like, no, this person should be over here, Northern over here. And this one definitely should be over here. What's he doing? You see what I'm saying? Like they're terrible, but you got them over here in the top 5. Versus I'm over here with this one that you got, and this one needs to go over here. And you go, no, you're wrong. He needs to stay over there with the bad people. He's not good. And I go like, all right, you pick the team. Let's see how it looks in 90 days. And then 90 days from now, my little group is doing 200,000 or 150, and yours is doing 17,000, and you're holding on that my thinking is wrong and yours is right. And I'm going like, listen to why I said that was not going to grow. Like, give you an example. Diane came to me with this one time. And this is a couple. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Diane liked them. They are so cute and so adorable, like to look at. Like kind of like the person I said was odd, and then the numbers didn't prove out. Well, this one, and I was talking to him, Diane, and I hung up. I said, I can't work with them. She said, why? I said, they don't know what's ways up. And they were nice. You remember this, Diane? I said, who was it? And they said, we do everything 50-50. Dark black hair, both of them. You remember? And they said, everything's 50-50. And I go, I know, but who makes a decision? Like if she don't want to go to the convention and you do, they go, we both got to agree. I said, so if you don't disagree, if you can't agree on coming to convention, do you come to the convention? And they go, no, we don't. I said, so you stay at home. And they said, we never really had that situation. All right. If he wants to buy $1,000 worth of leads a week and you only want to spend $500, what do you do? And they said, we got to be 100% agree to make a decision. And I was like, so if you don't buy the leads, then you didn't buy the leads, then you don't have to be 100% committed to make a decision. You see what I'm saying? If they both want to go, if one of them don't want to go to convention, one of them does, and they stay at home because they couldn't get an agreement, the one that didn't want to go won because the person who wanted to go didn't get to go. 50-50 don't work. Remember that, Diane?
I remember that, Andy. Didn't work.
You know, tell you what, next thing happened? They got arrested for what? Arson of their own house.
Did they agree on it together?
I don't know if they agreed to burn the house down and collect insurance, or if they couldn't decide not to burn the house down, so they did. That's right. Listen, they're all right. This went. I was right about that one.
It's in line with the logic.
Diane, did you think Andy was right about that at all? Did it occur to you?
It did occur to me. It doesn't work out that way. There has to be a lead dog.
I wasn't mad at him. I just said, okay. Like, in other words, I was down to the short rows who I was going to put on the team, and I picked, I don't know, maybe Jake and Bell or something. You know what I mean? I was like, I'm going with them, not them.
Right.
So I'm just kind of sorting and trying to think through stuff. And a lot of times I'll give people a task like Wednesday, can you jump on the show? And then I'll text them and see if they were on it. If they don't, I'm kind of like Ryan Chain, check, X. They're not paying attention. But ultimately, what I'm ultimately doing, because I'm not deciding, like if you don't have 3 husbands or 3 wives, I'm not the guy I'm not into that decision making. If you want to go to a Jesus church or a God church or the Mother Mary church, I'm not into that. But I am into the black and white of the premium and getting money coming in. You know what I mean? That's what I'm into. But I judge the other stuff, like who's if I had to pick between this person, I got to use some kind of judge to put it there. Ultimately, it comes down to premium. But now, if a person is doing a lot of premium, but every carrier starts terminating them, then I have a harder time betting on them too, because I'm like, these carriers are not liking them, and I ultimately report to the carriers, which ultimately brings premium. Okay. All right, so that's one thing. Is we've been traveling a little bit, and we always waiters and waiters and valets and maitre d's and concierge and people behind the counter and other travelers. Like as we're talking to people, if we see 3 people, we usually try to go get the sharper. We had a driver, and I can't remember who it was, started talking to them, and I go, you didn't get their number, did you? And they went, no. And I said, good. Because the person was real. Was you, Maddie? That person was weird, odd. We could be wrong, and they might show up in the leaderboards with some other company, but we had so much other good people to talk to that we were talking to that we had to decide that one was a waste because we had to keep going. So that's what makes it a Rubik's Cube. You want to be fair and get depth under every person. Because any dud might know a stud, but not duds. Right? I mean, just come on. Like, you know who they hang around, it's all got to be like them. So we kind of want, if we, from the worst to the best, we kind of want to work depth. Even if we can't decide if this person's bad or good, like the dead middle. This could be an apple, it could be a good apple. Right on the edge, right on the razor. It could go this way. We might give them a chance to try to drive depth if we don't have enough of these. Okay? So you really are constantly judging it. So like I'm talking to my boss, and I'm talking to people around it, like who owns the company, the integrity, and I want them to make a decision to make the call on me. In other words, point me to go in the game. Point me to give me an extra, $100,000 bonus or whatever. I will pick me, boss. But I understand how they got to judge based on aggressiveness, results, attitude, history, grades, resume. You with me? So when you're recruiting, a lot of people say, "How do I talk people into getting in business?" I have never had a problem getting people in this business. I have had a problem getting people in the business that wasted my time. And I have people that 100% know they would be great, but they pick aerospace engineering, or they pick being an attorney, and they don't pick being, like I know a guy right now, he's picking attorney over picking being with me. I think his life and his finances and his family would be better off with us than being an attorney. I think so. But he's picking that. So I might not get him today, I might get him tomorrow, I might not never get him. But I know I want him more than this person. I know I want him more than this person already got. I really do. But so we're just constantly putting a team together. So if you can understand going wide, you hire 10, 12, 15 people. Out of the 100 you talk to, you get 10 or 12 good ones. Or you talk to 1,000, you hire 100, now we got the 10 best ones. Well, in the very beginning, when you get a good person, they probably know other good people. If you get an average person, you ask them for the best people they know, not the average people they know. So this is the best person. The person you hire, Janet, has a span of people. And some of the people, your new hire, the person you just hired, some of the people he knows are not good. We don't like them. He don't like them. They're weird. They're just irresponsible. They're crooks. They're liars. And then half of his people are better. And I know it gets vague in between here. So you want him to try to pick of the best people he's got. And if the best person he's got, then he brings you 3 people, and none of them can articulate. None of them have any sense whatsoever. Like, they're just weird. You pick the wrong person to pick their best people. You need to wait till you get a little bit better person to start doing that. But I did it, but then I know I need to upgrade. So, Diane, you got 20 years of watching me do this. And I get mad over stuff that I try not to tell people I'm mad about, but I try to make a mental note that this person, this is really what I want to say. I want to call out people and stuff like that. So I can't understand why you think this person is good. A lot of time, like, why do you think that? And I think you've got a criteria of 10 things that you've picked, and I've got 10, and my 10 are not the same 10. And what I'm trying to do is get you on the same page as I am. And what's crazy is, like, when I'm talking to you are like 22 years old, I'm over 22 years old, and I'm going like, in my day and time, like, there's certain things that happened in my life that people need to know Like if you're talking to somebody, if I'm talking to somebody my age and they don't know what happened in 7 and 8 with the world economy or in the American economy, if they don't know, then I'm kind of like, how do they not know that? But if they're only 22 and they were a kid when that happened, then I kind of get it. But if you're a kid, and if you're young, you're 22 and you don't know how to use Instagram, or you don't know how to Snapchat, or you don't know how to do an email, or you don't know how to do an Excel spreadsheet, I'm going like, who you rate? You see what I'm saying? Like, so I'm reading a book about intelligence right now, and it's intelligence, like there's intelligence of music, there's intelligence of speaking, and there's intelligence of writing, and there's different intelligences. And they say that, like, for example, if you're in a car wreck, you might be able to do math, still do all the math, but you can't remember your family's names because that intelligence is stored in 2 different places. Like, let me give you, like when I was 16, I paid $300 to $800 from the first car. It sounds probably think it sounds crazy. I say $800. I had cash at 16, and my parents were poor, but I had cash. And then when I was 18, I went to college. I had credit cards with no debt on them, and I had a little bit of cash in my pocket. And my parents were broke. I mean, not broke, but they had cash in their pocket and they had credit. They've never. So how is it's called financial intelligence? You talk to a person who's 25 and they say they don't. They say they can't come to the convention because they have no credit card available, or they have no cash, and they're 25 years old. I would rather they say, "Look, Mr. Albright, I'm picking not going to your event because I don't see the value of coming. I've got credit on my credit card. I've got 30,000 credit on one and 20,000 other, and I'm choosing not to come to your event because I would rather go to a concert at my small community at my home than coming to your event." I go like, I understand. I respect that person more than the person who's dying to come to my event that's 25 and can't afford to come. Sounds crazy, don't it? Like, I thought you want somebody that wants to come to your event. To me, to do the analogy with the basketball players, that's a person that would die to play at NC State, but can't dribble. I would rather have a person who don't want to have to come to NC State, that wants to play at the Tar Heels or with Stanford or somebody, and don't want to play at NC State, but he's an incredible player, so we pay him money, like $50,000 to come here, even though he wanted to pay for a different university. See how that's an argument, Diane? You know people that 100% would pick the one that wants to be there over the person that's super talented. It's a hard concept. But that's what I want, is the person that can play. But don't you want somebody that loves NC State? I want them to say that when they get there. Well, you just want the superficial. His dribbling is not superficial. It's real. He's 6'9". That's real. That's fake. He can slam dunk. He's got straight A's. His mom and daddy are not telling me how to run the team. But he really wants to be wearing Carolina blue, not red. I go, it don't look like it to me. He gets on the court, he dominates. Even against the Tar Heels, he dominates. What are you talking about? See, your criteria is different than my criteria. You follow what I'm saying? Now, but Andy, if you get 5 players and they all hate each other and they won't pass it, and one wants to play for Carolina and one wants to play for UCLA, and none of them want to play at NC State, but they're super talented. Okay, give me a team that has everybody loves their university but no talent. We're going to crush them. But Andy, all you care about is winning. I think I mentioned that earlier in the show. I just want to win. if you could argue with me a little bit, Janet, Danny, or Diane, anybody that feels severe, I want to argue, but I really want to know what you're thinking. Especially, we got, I don't know where y'all are from, but I could just say there's 3 females versus 1 guy. There's NC State. None of y'all are NC State. We got New Mexico, and then we got drug dealer cousins, and then we got, I don't know what you got as cousins, and you got as family members. But we all come, mine are more redneck, whatever. All right, let's just go. Diane, we're putting together a team. What I've been saying, give me your 20-year thoughts.
Well, I really look for people that have a big want to and a big why, because they're going to run through brick walls to make it happen. And the ones that say, but like you said earlier, they just want to do that. I think that's easier for them to drift off than somebody that's got maybe less talent, but more drive in them. They're not quitters. And quitters never win, right? We always talk about that because they're, I tried it for 5 minutes and I made 10 phone calls and, this must not be for me. So I look for the ones that, think about it, make the decision and commit to going. And I find that the ones that maybe make a decision a little slower, Andy, like sometimes they don't come on board right away. And because they didn't see it and they come later, they're the ones that really see the value in it. And then they come on board and they just want to go. Like my nephew, he had no idea what I was doing until I flew him down to Dallas, and he wanted to quit his job that day. And I'm like, no, you can't quit your job. You got to do this as a side hustle till you get your license, till you do all this. But he was like, out of the gates, he just went. Because he had a big want to.
And tell him who it is, and let's talk about some of the reasons we knew he could do it. We suspected that he would be successful. We suspected.
Yeah, he was competitive in college.
And who is?
Finished college. He was always calling me about what should I be reading.
No. That's going to read history. He went to college.
Yep. He went to Loyola, which is not an easy college to get into. He was a good student there. He was competitive. He flew all over, and I think it was, I'm going to get this wrong if it was volleyball or soccer. And I think it's volleyball. And he just had no quit in him, that he was going to figure it out. He was the quiet one, but he was the methodical one, that he was looking, and he had big dreams. And that was the thing that I think I kept thinking about it. He saw things out there that other people missed that he wanted. And I think to me that is a big difference, that they have that want to that you talk about.
So many things I can say that are going to offend everybody, and I'm trying not to offend. I'm really like trying to talk to you, Danny, and I really I'll talk to y'all, 3 of y'all, but also Emily Katz and my son Spencer. As you're building a team, you've been taught not to judge. Okay, agree? But y'all look like you've judged yourself, meaning you've picked how to dress. So when another person dresses stupid or sloppily, they picked that. You with me? So like, for example, Mike is just put together. You're talking about Mike Mauricio, I'm guessing.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
Okay, he graduated from Loyola, which is recognized in every state. Like if you don't know Loyola, if you never heard it, you never watched basketball, football, baseball, hockey, right? So, and like somebody the other day, I said, where'd you go to school? She said, TBC. And I said, TBC. And I'm thinking, Tennessee Brotherhood, Texas, Baylor, TBC. And they were like, Tiny Burrows, Cinetic. I was like, oh, can Could you spell tiny? I mean, I kept thinking, what are you talking about? You know, no offense for anybody that graduated from a school that nobody's ever heard of ever, except for the 97. You know what I mean? No offense, but big university. So I'm not judging them. Like they might be not. You don't have to go to college. You can be very successful with us and not go to college. And I would pick you. For example, if you were 18 and you signed up in the military and you graduated as sergeant master in 8 years, like no high school though. I mean, no college. He only went to the military. I got like, dude, look at his rank, what he accomplished in the last 8 years. Or stars, or medals, or recognition. So with Mike, he's tall. You say, well, that has nothing. He must have ate his green beans. He also must be fortunate. It's more than likely his heritage, his parents.
Yeah.
You coached him on eating, or he looked it up on YouTube himself and learned how to eat the right foods. You can't get that tall being malnutritioned. You can't. But no kidding. And then Kate, his wife, she also, like, the history was good. Right, Diane? The history is good. I got you on the want to, but they already did to.
Yeah.
They did it. Yeah. So I am picking him to think about and talk about and coach. I think some people, they're jealous of him because, like, I'm not working with my downline because he's a foot taller than me and not a big fat ass like I am. So why would I want to talk to this tall, skinny, good-looking dude when I'm a big fat ass? It's weird. Like, I'm not kidding you. I'm not trying to be offensive on it. It's like they're de-judging him because he's better than them. Like, why don't you not pick somebody? Who's that big fat NFL coach? He might even still be coaching. But you look at his players. He picked his players not how he was. You know what I mean? Like you try to pick a team. Like, I want people skinnier than I am, younger than I am, smarter than I am, more articulate than I am. I'm not looking for people worse because it makes me feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Diane, you picked him early. I picked him early, right?
Yep.
And now he's past people that were bigger, flasher. They had bigger want-tos. So that's why, no offense on want-tos.
Yeah,
you had
true.
people that were desperate.
That's true.
You had people that were desperate but did nothing. So they had a big why. They wanted to change the world. No more homeless people in America. I love those beauty pageants when a girl goes, I just want to end homelessness. Like, oh, God.
Andy,
What?
trust motion.
Trust motion and trust historical motion.
Right.
Now,
Exactly.
and it's funny, Danny, you want to say something?
My notes say fair, depth. Every dud knows a stud, but not a dud. The average duds, you get the best people they know, and then you rank them.
Yeah. So you got a good team. And that's almost like talking to you. And, Sarah is thanks the world to you, and Jake and Beret and Mike, and everybody's like, oh, they're great. She's great. So now what we're doing is we're looking for one more as good as you or better than you. Might be Maddie, it might be your uncle. So, like, in my mind, your uncle, I'm trying to decide, is Maddie or your uncle the best? And what you're trying to do is give me options, Maddie, because the only options I can think of is them two. I don't know. Is she direct to you too? Yeah. So the only ones
you're thinking of.
Huh?
Ashley Blackwell, the one you met in Albuquerque, is the one you're thinking of, I believe.
Okay. Well, I'm not, but good belief. I'm thinking about Maddie and the uncle because I don't really remember anybody else. So that actually I may kind of have met her, but I don't remember. So as I'm looking at groups, I'm looking to who does she got that stands out. And you're thinking, you're kind of like, I don't know who y'all's today, we call them Don Kings. You got to be the Don King. You got to tell, hey, look, was your Uncle Jack, is that his name? Zach. So under Zach, I got this good one under Zach, kind of reminds you of Maddie. I got this good one under Zach, reminds you of Mike Morisi. Got a good one under Zach, reminds you of Andy Riddle, except 25 years ago. You with me? It reminds me of Big Mike, except for 62 years ago. You with me? You understand what I'm saying? It's kind of like you got the doggies, and we're going to teach them how to go after raccoons, and then he goes and gets a baby raccoon. You'd be like, that's good. He's looking for the adults. You with me? Or he finds the bones of a dead one. That's good because at least he knows it's a raccoon. But if he goes and brings a giraffe, you're like, no, that's not a kitty cat or a raccoon, it's a giraffe. Like, how do you, the discernment on it? So back to Jack, who does Jack get that reminds me of, because we got these people that are successful? Who do we pick? So Janet, who you pick? All right. So what happens is your business is going wrong, you're hiring people, and then you're hiring more in debt. So let's say you chose to keep a job. You make $100,000 a year. You're not selling, you just got a job, and all you're going to do is recruit successful people. It's possible because you're making $100,000, you're paying your bills. You can take 5 years to build a business. You can make 10 because there's no stress. You're taking your time building your business. Now, I know you want to build it faster, but let's just say you don't have to. Okay? So now you're not worried about sales. You're just hiring people that can sell. Think about building that team. Are you going to get people that can't sell, or you want to get people that copy you? Because if they copy you and all they're doing is getting people, and then their people are getting them, nobody's selling anything. So I was not big on sales, but I wanted people that would sell a lot more than me. Does that make, like I really did? So people say, you're against sales. Like, I love sales. That's how I make my money, is people that are selling. So I love people that are sales, but you love people to build. That's why I called it sell, build, or recruit, sell, recruit, and build. Because I'm really looking, it'd be like saying I want a basketball player because he can just score points like crazy. That's true. I do. I don't hate scores. You want a person that's just great defense. I do. But if we don't score any points. So Andy, you're looking for perfection. Yes. But you'll take less. Yes. And I'm probably, so if you're over here with the good people, like let's say we got a whole sorted team, Danny. They call this my riddle team, okay? Or call this, all right, so then I'm going like, now, I'm not judging the Davies team, and I'm not judging the Lampy team. I'm just looking at the riddle team. So I have my best 6 people in the whole riddle team. The deepest in the riddle team, and then as far as his width, who's his second leg? Like his second leg is whoever. You with me? I know his first leg goes to Jason, then goes to Terry Edwards. So that's kind of in that first tap, that's what I got. And then who's riddle's next? Is it Little Body? Is it whoever? You with me? Who's next in Riddle's group? Then, so this is pushed over here. Then it's who here. So if I can get one better on the Riddle team or on the Edwards team, which will be a Riddle team, or if Riddle brings on somebody that's just phenomenal, that's better than Mathis or better than Terry or better than Lou, you see what I'm saying? Like so I'm building that team. So that's a team. I'm going to field that team. So then I'm working on my second team. I might be a little more tolerant. Right, I'm an Avian team, Levinstovich team. I'm looking down in here. So, Danny, you're in there. So, Danny, somehow, in my mind, you're picked over here that fits. So, like, whoever you're giving time to. Now, I'm having like a cabin event, for example. I've also got a couple of intense training, AITs coming up. So, what happens is, people decide to get out in front of me, and then I get to see them, and then I get to judge. And like a couple people, I love it. I do love it when people say like, you will remember my name. And I go like, am I going to remember you because you're very successful, or because you're going to mass murder, or are you going to, jump off a bridge? We've never had anybody do that on the team. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what's making me remember it? And they go, you don't remember me because I'm going to be big on your team. And I go, all right, show me, don't snow me. We got a convention coming up. Try to bring somebody besides yourself. And then they show up with 4 people. Hey, I got the 4 people. Remember when I told you I was going to be big? Yeah, I remember that. And you're doing it. Good job. They show up one, and they tell me again how big they're going to be, and it's still just them. Mental note, they're not growing. They're just talking a lot. You see what I'm saying, Danny? You see I want you to see the sorting. So this is my sorting, my first leg. And by the way, Adrian, Leventovich, that whole organization, Jacob Ray, they could sort and come over here. It could do like that. But they're over here. Now I'm in my third world. Davies, Katz, just I'm sorting. So then you put together his team. So if we sorted the whole company, so here's the top salespeople in the country. Okay? Or I can sort the top hierarchies in the country. So it's a sorting game. I'm ready to be sorted. So I tried to manipulate, I tried to organize my life so I could get sorted over here. So when I'm looking at my team, I'm trying to sort and put together a good team. Now, Janet, talk to me. I don't keep rambling.
I have a lot of notes taken. Dating, because I feel like as you get older, we start to be able to see through what someone can sustain, and like the kind of the clues that, like you said, somebody's saying, "Oh, you'll see my name," and then they bring 4 people, but then really they stop and they just kind of phase out. And I'm sure that's harder, it's kind of like gaslighting a little bit. So we have to kind of be able to try to figure out how to like give our time to the right people and continue that, so that way it's sustainable, and that way they can grow, not just sustain, right? We don't want to go backwards. We don't want to necessarily sustain. We actually always want to be growing.
Yeah.
So that's kind of an interesting, like your topic kind of reminded me of that.
Yeah, you remember I said people got a job, $100,000, and you try to build a team and they get fired. What are they going to do then?
Mm-hmm.
They get fired, they got to get another job making $100,000, so they can pay their bills, so they keep building their business. So if a person is in sales and you're selling and say, I don't have time to build my business because you're selling, okay, I don't care. What do you want me to do? You see what I'm saying? Like, it's like, I got a player who wants to only play offense all the time, never play defense. Then I've got to make a decision. Do I put this person in the game because I only need points and I need no defense? Or do I have another person who's not quite as good at scoring, but they're way better as defense, and I go to the person that's called 3/4 in scoring and 3/4 defense, versus a person who's like 100% offense but 0 defense? They're out of balance. But I could pick the 100% offense and put them in for a little bit. So when you think about putting them in, is who do I set beside me when I'm having dinner? Who do I set across? If I have a teaching session and I've got 50 people there and I say, hey, I'd like for you to come up and you to come up, I'm deciding who talks. I'm deciding who gets on a call. I'm not just randomly throwing darts and pick who's at the convention. And sometimes you put in a player just to make a foul, or in hockey you might put a person in just because he's good at making fights. This guy's a really good fighter. Put him in. The coach has to decide. But if you put him in and everybody gets in a fight and then we get a penalty and lose a game, you might get fired as a coach. So ultimately you're getting judged by me on results of your team when we judge team builders. Who can build a business, then we're going to judge it based on who can build a business. And the structure of the business is wide and deep. So if that one leg is 90% of your business you don't really have a business versus the other person has like 40, 30, 30 at 3 legs. You see what I'm saying? So structure the business. And ultimately, it's wins. Wins. Wins being free trips, wins being how big your organization, how many people come to conventions. So you're looking at that. So if you're telling me how bad your team is, I'm already seeing that your team is bad. It's probably not information. But if you asked me, could you give me some tips? Like, we look at your business and then we have some tips. We have a lot of structure changes that you could do. Okay. All right. Is it 10 past 2? This helpful, Diane? How is it helpful to you, Diane? Because you've been around. Hopefully you've heard all this before and I'm repeating myself.
It's great to hear it, Andy, because you're the master at it, and it's great resetting some things and saying, okay, I got to get better at that. Sometimes we get not lazy, but sometimes we think we're doing something and then we start skipping it, right? Or don't have the focus right in certain areas. So it's a great reminder. Thank you.
I'm like that. How about you, Danny? Is this cleared up or a little, make it more muddy? I like your little notes.
I love how you said nothing about teaching individuals how to become wonderful salespeople. You let the system teach and you let them, it's plug and play, but you're building infrastructure. It's plug and play into the system.
Yeah. My way's a whole lot easier than some other people's. If you find somebody that figured out an easier way, I'll copy them. Guy gave me a hint to new Americans. He told me that, and I was like, that's a good idea right there. And it's really exploding, that part. He gave me a hint. I took it, ran with it. Somebody else got a suggestion. I got a suggestion like this for the conventions. What they want is more breaks to mingle and associate. And I was like, that is a excellent suggestion. And then he's like, number 2 was, we would like to have free coffee. And I was like, that's a great suggestion, free coffee. And then the third one was, I would like to have more training, more content. Same person. Breaks, free coffee, and more content and substance. I was like, I don't know how we're going to have more breaks and more teaching. And I looked at their name and I went, try to remember not to expect big things. That way you won't have your expectations and your emotions built up, and then they don't do it and you get all depressed and you can't work as hard. So if you just push them over to the side. And there's one person out there going like, he read the suggestions, all of them. And some of them I put notes by. Like, this person has good ideas, and I put, this one is really weird. My favorite's the one that had 9 different suggestions, and I'm 100% confident he has not been to our last 3 events. It's like, I said, I'm going to look this up. But at least he gave suggestions. There was a plus. Janet, what do you think?
I feel like I'm pretty much the rookie in the group, which I'm totally fine with. I like to be in a room full of people that are way smarter than me. And so, I mean, I would just suggest for everyone to try to do the same thing, because I feel like just since you've kind of tapped into me a little bit, I've already had successes that are coming down the pipeline when it comes to new people joining the team. My mind's like freaking right now after spending the last 2 days with y'all. And I feel like the stars are aligning when you put in the work. I think the fruits of the labor will come eventually. And when the stress hits, like, just keep going. Because, like, there's been times I've cried, and then I'm just like, okay, that's just get over yourself and keep going. And I'm so thankful that I keep doing that.
I really think you have a great potential, and Diane's great potential, and Danny, and obviously Diane's had a lot more success than y'all. She's been doing it longer. But the way if I would give you this is like, look at depends on, I wouldn't worry about your checking account and your credit score as I would wonder about your team when you get here. So at, what we got coming up? NBC? At National Boot Camp, at NBC, look at your team and let's kind of look and see who's your best person, who's your second best person, and then in your first organization, who's your best and who's your second best, and then your second organization, who's your best and who's your second best, and then your third organization, who's your best, your second best. So if you put together your top 5, first 2 legs, first 2 in the first leg, first 2 in the second leg, then your third leg, kind of look at them. You only have 3 people. How does it look? All down one leg? Who's the best of those 3? What if you had 3 direct to you? Who's the best of those 3? And then who's second best? And then we kind of compare like the snapshot of your team before and snapshot now. And then crazy is next family reunion. How many people you have in your team that you're building, in your business that you're building. Your secretary, what does she look like, act like, how do they behave? Your recruiters, your admin, your IT person, your team, what do they look like when they come to the game? The game being NBC. What does your team look like? That's what I'm looking at, trying to build a team. If you're trying to build a team, I suggest you look at what your team looks like, and then we try to shore it up. Where they're really, really weak, let's try to get somebody better. Where they're really, really good, let's find somebody get just like them. Okay? All right, we got to get back to doing the do. Thank y'all. Hope this helped. Text me. Be in touch with y'all. Bye. Wrap them up. Close, shut me down before I get in trouble. Woo. I don't know if anybody